Hey guys, Mike here from Movie Nation.
And today we're going through a 2022 drama, thriller, horror movie called Choose or Die. The opening scene shows Gabe, a young man, arguing with his mother, Laura, as she scolds him for not having a future. Gabe ignores her all day, knowing his father would rather play his weird games than worry about him. Hal listens to this conversation from his room but decides not to interfere in the argument and withdraws into the gaming room. He sits down to play a video game named Curse Greater Than R. The monitor keeps asking him weird questions, and this leaves Hal surprised. The game tells him that the bottle on the table is empty, and he finds out that it is true. The game asks him if he wants the lights off or on, and he chooses off. Upon seeing that the game responds to all his commands in real life, he mutters the word, "cool." The monitor then asks him to pick between her ears or his tongue. He seems confused by the question, and the game tells him to choose one or he dies. When Hal refuses to choose, the lights go off and Hal hears a screeching sound in his head that knocks him out for some seconds. Moments later, Hal leaves the room and comes to the living room, where he finds his wife holding Gabe's tongue in one hand and a knife in the other. The monitor then comes up showing Hal that he chose the tongue. In the next scene, Kayla, a young woman, leaves her place of work. She arrives at Isaac's apartment. Isaac, who is Kayla's friend, is busy with his computer and doesn't notice her arrival. Kayla comes behind Isaac and startles him. Isaac engages Kayla in a conversation about the new game he's developing. He promises that the game will be mind-blowing. She opens her bag and brings out a piece of technology that Isaac can use, and he promises to pay her for the item. She walks around the scattered room and Isaac apologizes for not putting his things in order. While looking around, Kayla discovers the Curse Greater Than R game in Isaac's apartment, along with a phone number offering a $125,000 prize. Isaac says he doesn't know how it got there. She then calls the number attached to the game. When the line connects, a recorded voice answers and says his name is Robert Englund. The voice tells her to complete the game and insert the number code at the end of it to win the money. Attracted by the offer, Kayla accepts the challenge, thinking it will be easy money, and arranges a deal with Isaac to share the prize. She leaves afterward. Upon getting home, Kayla sees an eviction notice posted on the board. She calls out for her mother, Thea, but gets no response. She soon finds her mother lying down on the couch. She appears to be suffering from the use of a substance. Kayla then goes over to her mother and tells her that she shouldn't be around the caretaker named Lance again. She says Lance isn't helping her because all he does is provide her with substances and pills that will damage her. Kayla tells her mother that she would like for them to go out together the next day before retiring to her room to work. Later that night, Kayla goes to a cafe. She starts up her laptop and launches the Curse Greater Than R game. The game tells her that she is in a tavern, and Kayla is surprised. The game also asks her if she wants cake or coffee. Upon noticing that these items correspond to the menu, Kayla picks coffee, and the waitress soon comes over to pour her coffee. She discovers that the game can interfere with reality in different ways. Kayla immediately closes the laptop when the game asks her another question and finds the room covered in mist, in which a voice tells her that she has to choose an option or she will die. She quickly reopens the laptop and picks an option. The game level then ends with the waitress eating shards of broken glass and dying. The game tells Kayla that they will continue at the same time tomorrow. The following day, Kayla tries to destroy the game tape. She listens from her room as a police officer talks with her mother about the death of her son, Ricky. The officer tells her that they are still investigating Ricky's death. It is revealed that Thea suffers from depression and substance use because of her son's death. Minutes later, Kayla prepares to leave home. She finds Lance outside, who tells her that he knows about her family's struggles. Kayla tells him to stay away from her mother, and Lance tells her that if she wants money, she should come to him. He says that with the intention of taking advantage of Kayla, but she ignores him and leaves. As she leaves, the monitor in her room comes up and displays the game's graphics. Kayla goes over to Isaac's house and tells him that the game is mysterious. Isaac doesn't believe her, and this prompts her to leave in annoyance. Later on, while Kayla is working her shift, her mother calls her desperate for help. Kayla discovers that Curse Greater Than R has managed to escape to the net and is following her, forcing her to choose ways to save her mother from a swarm of rats. After choosing several options, Thea eventually falls from her bedroom window and ends up in hospital. Kayla's boss finds her destroying the office monitor and fires her for it. Kayla goes to visit her mother in the hospital and notices that her mother is hallucinating. Shortly afterward, Kayla goes home and finds the house trashed just the same way it was in the game. Lance comes behind Kayla and she almost punctures him with a broken bottle. He then inquires how much she wants a pleasant time, but Kayla tells him to leave. Later that night, Kayla goes to Isaac's apartment and together, they try to discover the mystery behind the game. They find a sort of code in the sound of curs greater than R in an unknown language and theorize it is what allows the game to interact with the real world. The game then comes on and it starts asking them several questions. It asks them to choose an option or die. Isaac is surprised as to how the impossible is happening. The room soon turns into two chambers with a red door and a blue door. The duo enters the red room. Upon entering the room, Kayla starts hallucinating about her dead brother. She sees Ricky trying to enter a pool and runs after him. Isaac tries to stop her because he insists the game is toying with them. A thick mist soon covers them and Isaac starts having difficulty breathing. Shortly afterward, a creature attacks Isaac in the mist. Kayla is then given the option to save Isaac or Ricky. She cries softly and decides to save Isaac. As she tries to drag Isaac away, Ricky stands up and attacks Kayla. Kayla quickly turns over and subdues Ricky. She then strangles Ricky till he passes out. The mist clears off afterward and the monitor informs them that level 3 of the game is complete. Upon summoning some strength, Isaac comforts Kayla and tells her that hopes she knows that her brother wasn't the one in the mist. Kayla says she is aware and that's the reason she decided to save Isaac. Kayla expresses her surprise as to how the game knows so much about her. Isaac then hacks the number connected to the game and finds out where the storage facility is. Isaac says they have about 10 hours before the next game and it's advisable they start going right away. The duo jumps into Isaac's car and starts going to the facility. Soon afterward, the duo arrives at the storage facility. Upon entering the building, they hear the recorded voice of Robert Englund echoing around the building. They move inside an office and find a tape from which the voice is coming. Kayla switches off the tape and they start searching through the room before discovering that the game was built in the building. In recording sessions of the making of Curs Greater Than R, they discover that the creator of the game, Beck, found a curse in different symbols and embedded the codes into the game to gain more benefits by using the suffering of gamers. Kayla and Isaac are stunned by their discovery and contemplate whether to contact the police or not. When they discover the code they needed, the game traps Isaac and makes Kayla choose to save him, but ends up terminating him nonetheless. As Isaac passes on, the game tells them that level 4 is complete and orders Kayla to beat the boss. The game then gives Kayla a set of coordinates and tells her to head there. As Kayla drives to the destination, she cries inside the car over the death of her dear friend. Soon afterward, Kayla arrives at her destination. Before stepping out of the car, she receives a call from her mother's cell phone. Upon picking up the call, Lance tells her that her mother is better and he is taking her home. Kayla says she wants to speak with Thea but Lance refuses. Kayla proceeds into the compound and discovers that the house belongs to Hal. When Hal asks her who she is, she replies to him that she is also a player. Kayla discovers that Hal now treats his family very poorly. Hal tells her to sit down and she accepts. Hal then tells Kayla that he is a collector and he once found the game at a clearance site. The game promises to give him freedom if he is able to make copies of the game. Kayla blames Hal for the death of Isaac because he is the one that woke the game up. The game then instructs Kayla through her phone that Hal is the boss and she has to defeat him if she wants to win the game. The game then interchanges Hal's and Kayla's pain. Apparently, any hurt Hal inflicts on himself will do the same damage to Kayla and vice versa. Hal's family supports Kayla because Hal has been treating them poorly. Hal and Kayla get into a struggle to grab the gun but Hal comes out victorious in obtaining it. He aims at his head but luckily nothing happens as the gun is empty. Hal then picks up a knife to finish himself off but Kayla quickly jumps into the swimming pool and this causes Hal to drown and die. Kayla manages to survive and the game informs her that she is the winner. Kayla receives the game prize, which enables her to take total control of the curse. She uses this ability to terminate Lance, which heals both herself and her mother. It is then revealed that the building in which Kayla worked is owned by Beck. The movie ends when Beck asks Kayla who is next to suffer. Kayla answers that it will be only the ones who deserve to.